introduction. In Aryavachin. Um, yeah, it's such an amazing feeling actually. I'm doing with you guys this evening. And firstly, I just want to say hello to everyone in Nottingham Buddhist Center and inviting me for giving this talk or sharing my experience being in India, being follower of Dr. Ambedkar, and being as order members as well. My life has been so full on really recently with work and with family life and living in community. And I was involved with giving quite a lot of, not a lot of, but at least few talks and involved with leading a couple of days of Dr. Ambedkar last couple of weeks. And I wanted to just say yes to everything last couple of weeks, in particular around doing something about Dr. Ambedkar and celebrating 64th of anniversary of mass conversion, which happened in 1956. And I wanted to say yes. And for two reasons, really, I wanted to say yes to this talk as well. The first reason was, Kusala Devi and Aryavachin, and as Parag as well from Nottingham. I have a very special connection with these people. I share so many good memories and great friendship with them. And when they asked me, Sanghanath, can you give a talk to Nottingham Buddhist Center? I said yes straight away. Although I know I'm very busy, but I just wanted to say yes for this friendship. So yeah, I'm so delighted actually. My friendships with Aryavachin and Kusala Devis are still alive, and we are sharing this event together. So that's the main reason, one of reason I really wanted to say yes. The other reason I saying yes to giving talks or leading stuff around Dhamma Revolution Day or Dr. Ambedkar, because I see this is my responsibility, sharing Dr. Ambedkar. I see this is one of my duty in the West, uh, talk about Dr. Ambedkar, introduce one of the greatest mind on the earth in the in the world, and we just don't know about him. I feel this is a duty and responsibility, because what Dr. Ambedkar has given me in my life, which I would never able to have. I wouldn't be able to talk in front of you now if Dr. Ambedkar wouldn't have existed. And I live in UK last 15 years, and I feel sometimes quite shame really. People in the West don't know very much about Dr. Ambedkar. And whenever there's opportunity, I try to talk about Dr. Ambedkar. And this is why actually I am quite passionate about Dr. Ambedkar introducing in the West. I feel this is my responsibility. I am in UK. I have a first-hand connection with Dr. Ambedkar's work and mission. And I feel, out of this responsibility and gratitude and duty, I just wanted to do something around Dr. Ambedkar. Though we could ask this question to ourselves, why we know little about Dr. Ambedkar in the West. The people who are here for this evening might have heard about Dr. Ambedkar, but maybe out of this contact, people just don't know about Dr. Ambedkar. So worth questioning ourselves really, why this is the greatest mind on the earth and we know little about him. Is there something we could do more? Or is this like a structural problem of the world? Even maybe structural discrimination, if you like, because people from higher caste in India, they never wanted to focus Dr. Ambedkar outside India. So they deliberately don't want to introduce Dr. Ambedkar in the world. Yeah. So my invite to you really just kind of reflecting on why Dr. Ambedkar little known in the West and what we can do to promote him more in the West. Also, I wanted to dedicate this talk for two people, today. The first is George Floyd. We all know we are deeply disturbed by what happened in America. 40 years black man, George Floyd died. He was killed by police. And since then, we all are part of this. The work is going on in the world, in Triratna, on Buddhist Center, and so on. So the Black Lives Matter even more, and there is more awareness growing about Black Lives Matter. So I really wanted to dedicate this talk to him. He died in this operation, in this one of the worst racial discrimination under racial discrimination. And because of him, there's so much protest going on in the world. So I want to dedicate this talk to him. And also I want to dedicate this talk to 19 years old. Her name is Manisha Walkimi. She was born in Northern India and she died 3 weeks ago. She was gang raped by 4 higher caste people and she gradually died. And there's so much protest going on in India as well around her, asking for justice. She's from Dalit community and Dalit atrocity happens every day. And I wanted to kind of dedicate my talk to her as well, for her family, for herself, and so many Dalit people died every day because of this operation going on daily basis. So yeah, just wanted to say that because these 2 incidents deeply disturbed me last few weeks or few months. So let's talk a little bit. I assume a lot of people here know about Dr. Ambedkar, and some people probably don't know about Dr. Ambedkar. Maybe I will just give you a brief summary about who Dr. Ambedkar was. So Dr. Ambedkar was born in 1890 in central of India. He was an Indian jurist, social reformer, politician, philosopher, anthropologist, economist, and writer. He's got so many degrees. I even can't name how many degrees he's got and PhD and so on. So many identities he's got. He's a highly educated man in India. He was the champion of the Dalit cause and fought against the discrimination for untouchables. He was one of the founder of the Indian Constitution and the first law minister of independent India. The constitution we got in India is because of Dr. Ambedkar. And one of the greatest constitution we got in India, which served thousands and millions of people to gain their rights, gain their dignity back, if you like. If we didn't have this constitution in India, the Indian history would be very different. So really, deep gratitude and salute to Dr. Ambedkar doing this work. His best known work include the annihilation of caste, the Buddha and his Dhamma, castes in India, their mechanism, genesis and development, Pakistan and partition in India, and many others. So many books he has written, so many books he has written. He was deeply influenced by Mahatma Phule, who was a great social activist. To Mahatma Phule, you probably don't know about him. He's a local social activist, reformer before Dr. Ambedkar. He started first school for women in India in Pune. And that's why actually the education for women it started. So obviously he was one of the influence on Dr. Ambedkar, knowing that what he has done starting this school for women in Pune was deeply impressed him. And there's so many good work has done by Mahatma Phule, and Dr. Ambedkar thinks he's one of his guru or influenced figure. The second thing, Dr. Ambedkar was influenced by Kabir, who was the Sufi saint, who was always educate people through his poems, songs, and changing the individuals and society. So Dr. Ambedkar was very deeply fond of Sufi saint Kabir. And obviously his reverence and faith in Gautam Buddha, the Buddha, expressed throughout the life since his childhood. One of his book got as a present the life of Buddha, and since then he was really thinking about Buddha. So these three people really influenced Dr. Ambedkar. As you know, he studied in London School of Economics. He went to Columbia University, and then he went back and started his own movement against caste discrimination. And he became one of the highly popular politicians, social activist, and writer in India. Towards his life, in 1835, he declares that although he was born as a Hindu, he would not die as a Hindu, because he realized that the caste practices, the caste attitudes is deeply rooted in religion, and that religion would not serve humanity. And he declared, although I was born as Hindu, I won't die as a Hindu. And in 1935, he started to find out which religion I can choose. And towards the end, in 1956, he was converted into Buddhism. And he died after 6 weeks of his conversion. So there's a lot of celebrations going on at the moment, marking this 1956 event in India. So that's a little bit about Dr. Ambedkar. The question I wanted to answer myself and a little bit share with you why I am a Buddhist. And there are so many reasons why I'm a Buddhist. I could say, also things I can say why I'm a Buddhist. But there's a particular thing I want to emphasize today. I am a Buddhist because Dr. Ambedkar asked to choose Buddhism. He asked, leave Hinduism and convert into Buddhism. So that's kind of straightforward, simplest explanation I can give you why I'm a Buddhist. If Dr. Ambedkar wouldn't have said, choose Buddhism, I probably wouldn't have chosen Buddhism. So it sounds, for Western people might think it's quite, you not become Buddhist by your choice. You might feel like that. But what I could say, I am saying this with deep confidence and gratitude and reverence to the Dr. Ambedkar. Yeah. The gratitude comes from, there is a word in Pali called katanuyata, means knowing what has done for you, knowing what has done for your life, knowing what has given to you by that person. And I can really see that what Dr. Ambedkar has given to me, and not just me, but many, many millions of people. So for many million people in India, they became Buddhist because of Dr. Ambedkar, and they will proudly say, I am a Buddhist because of Dr. Ambedkar asked to become Buddhist. So there's no kind of question. It is something quite, it's not natural to many people, I think. Your teacher asked to do something and you just do it. So that's one reason, definitely, I would say I'm a Buddhist. And also, more I can practice about Buddhism, I can realize Buddhism is the path for me, the spiritual path for me, becoming older member, getting involved with Triratna when I was a child, and so on. So I can see there's now even more understanding about Buddhism, not just because of Dr. Ambedkar's asked to choose Buddhism, but just kind of practicing myself, I can really resonate and connect with Buddhist path for myself. And obviously, because of Dr. Ambedkar is established cultural Buddhism in India, in my society, where I grew up. So there was already like an established condition for me, become a Buddhist as a cultural Buddhist. And becoming cultural Buddhist is also quite valid, actually, very, very valid, because there is a path already for you through practicing people around me, and because of that, Triratna reached my village and I got involved with Buddhism when I was very young age. But there are Buddhists around me, but not many people know how to practice Buddhism. And this is why I think I'm deeply gratitude to Triratna, and in particular Bhante Sangharakshit, coming to India, coming to or reaching my village, for example, and starting these 3 activities where I could actually practice Buddhism. Before that, although I was Buddhist, but just no idea how to practice Buddhism. So yeah, this is one of Dr. Ambedkar said, religion is for man and not man for religion. So really he emphasized religion is for man, not man for religion. For getting human treatment, convert yourself, convert for getting organized, convert for becoming strong, convert for securing equality, convert for getting liberty, convert that your domestic life will be happy. So for Dr. Ambedkar, definitely coming to Buddhism, it's deeply rooted in Hinduism or the caste operation, and he wanted to end that, becoming Buddhist, because he really deeply believed that Buddha does not believe in caste. Buddha has challenged this discrimination in the past. And for that reason, Dr. Ambedkar chose Buddhism. That one of the reasons Dr. Ambedkar chose Buddhism, but there are so many different reasons why he chose Buddhism, but that's one of his reason choose Buddhism. So that's a little bit about why I am a Buddhist, why I became a Buddhist. The last few minutes, I want to reflect a little bit on my personal reflection on caste and racial discrimination. Before I say to this, because Dr. Ambedkar also came to UK and studied in London School of Economics. He also went to Columbia University. He also studied there. He done some PhD, and he had some connections with Black Lives Matter movement. He can really see the Black people are struggling in America that time. But there is a particular man, actually, Dr. Ambedkar had some corresponding. There's a Professor Dubios, and he and Dr. Ambedkar had some really good corresponding. If you have time sometime later on, you could look up. But they share some kind of connection, and they're really talking about how caste discrimination in India and how racial discrimination in the West are kind of connected. And these 2 operations are existing in the world, and how we can eradicate these practices. But on personal reflection, I want to mention, since George Floyd's death, I've been deeply disturbed, actually. The racial discrimination still exists in the world. And my most experience of discrimination is mostly to do with caste discrimination. So when I was growing up in India, I grew up in this lower caste community called Dalit. And because of that, I experienced also caste discriminations myself. For example, my mother used to work for these higher caste people as a labor, and they would not touch my mother. They would give her separate plates or separate cups when she wanted to eat something. And I used to go with my mother, and so that deeply disturbed me, actually. Just even like a memory is coming back, actually, that kind of discrimination. Even people don't touch you because you're from that community. It's quite a big thing, actually. And there's so many stories I could say about this discrimination, but this is like one story I'm telling, but there's still millions and millions of people in India do experience this form of discrimination, unfortunately. So when I came to UK, obviously that's one of the things I thought about myself is there's no caste exist in UK. So I can able to see a little bit like a caste-free country or caste-free society. Although having said that, there is some evidence the people from India living in UK, they also follow the caste discrimination and they practice casteism, which happens as well. But since I come to UK, I had only a couple of times I experienced the caste discrimination. One was when I was doing some door-to-door fundraising for Karuna, I come across some um, Indian families, and they were asking my surname, and I could not tell them my surname because they're trying to find out which caste I'm from, and I was kept saying, I'm a Buddhist. I see myself as a human being. I do not believe any caste and discrimination and so on. So Buddha, once I'm Buddhist, I'm a son of Buddha. There's no caste and so on. So that's one of the things. But on the racial discrimination wise, also I think I experienced a little bit when I was doing this door-to-door fundraising. I can just a little bit kind of experience this attitude in people as soon as they hear different accent or different skin. They have a little bit different attitude on the doors, which quite painful actually to hear that, or experience that myself. But as I said, my most discrimination or experience around caste discrimination is around caste discrimination, and it's a big part of my psyche, if you like. But having said that, since I'm living in UK and since George Floyd's things happen, I've been getting more and more interested and educating myself. So I joined this little movement in Cambridge called Movement Against Racism. 5 young women, black women, came together and started this movement and just bringing awareness in Cambridge on local level. And I've been friend with them. I've been going along with their protest and understanding myself actually. And it's very interesting because they don't have much idea about caste discrimination, and I probably don't have much understanding about racial discrimination. So we both share some of the worst discrimination you can imagine. We both share actually, but some reason we just don't know about this. And we are kind of talking about this, how racial discrimination happens and how caste discrimination happens and so on. So I've been kind of involved with this the movement a little bit on understanding and educating myself as well. What I can say about this one, I personally think this is one of the biggest institutions are existing in the world. One is caste institution and another is racial discrimination. So, and we unless we get rid of these institutions and attitude, I don't know how we can experience the fullest sense of happiness and so on. I think time is running out. No, we got, okay. So on the side of, I'm really glad, one thing I'm really glad that Tri Ratna, as a Tri Ratna, we are talking about these issues. We're discussing about racial injustice and discrimination within our community as well, which is really, really good. Because I personally think we, as a Tri Ratna, also we need to do a lot more work on this one, especially around just getting in discussion or talking about this attitudes. I can give an example actually. When I was in India, I was in university for 3 years, and I was sharing same bench. My friend, he's from higher caste, and we both are from different caste, and we're sharing this bench for 3 years together, and we're really good friend. But we never talked about caste. We never, even once we really able to just kind of discuss how lives in your community, how's life for your community and caste and so on. So that got really shocked actually, how we didn't do that. And for me, being in Tri Ratna, actually, it could happen easily. We could be sharing the spiritual life together for many, many years, but not even once we might be just really talking about this, understanding each other in this life and around special racial discrimination. So I just want to really just encourage as a Tri Ratna Institute, we could do more on this one. And I'm sure we're already doing this a lot. And we are in good position because I think our best of discussion or change is based on Dhamma, based on our spiritual vision, and that's more important. And I have more deep faith. As a Triratna Institute, we could take some risk around this, if you like. Yeah, I want to just end this little talk just reading what Dr. Ambedkar's last advice was. So Dr. Ambedkar says, my final words of advice to you are educate, agitate, and organize. Have faith in yourself. With justice on our side, I do not see how we can lose our battle. The battle to me is a matter of joy. The battle is in the sense, the fullest sense is spiritual. There is nothing material or social in it. For ours is a battle not for wealth or for power. It is a battle for freedom. It is the battle for the reclamation of human personality. So I will end my talk here. And thanks a lot again for listening. Jai Bhim.
Jai Bhim.